Hey everybody, welcome back to the Forge. So today we're going to be working on a new project. It is for a good friend of mine, Tucker Dorsey. It is going to be a new forge. He is in serious need of one right now, so we're going to get started on that. If you want to go check out Tucker, his handle on TikTok, Instagram, and here at YouTube is Kobalt Kutlery. I'll also leave it in the link down in the description. So I'm gonna get started. Probably gonna be a lot of time lapse, but here we go. So firstly, we have two pieces here. They're both from the same single chunk. On the original design, it was just gonna be 12 inches, but we've changed that up. So it's actually gonna be the full length minus this piece here. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of that. So it'll probably be around 20 to 22, 23 inches. So we're gonna bevel these edges up and get the welder out, weld it back flat, and then go ahead and, we may just leave this in here. We may use that for something here along the lines, or we may make it flat again, either one. But we're gonna go ahead and get this all put back together and weld it up and start on the process of making the forge. In my infinite wisdom, when I cut these two pieces apart, this top one was under stress, so it oblonged. Get it back straight though. I'll put a couple tack welds around the outside, just get it held in place, then roll it over on its side, get it all welded up, and then should be good to go to start putting faces and doors and insulation. So here we go. For a cheap $50 welder, I'd say that's not too bad. I mean, it ain't great, but I'm not seeing any holes poking through, which that won't matter too much once we get it all lined. So next is to start on our doors. We'll probably start front first, go ahead and get all that done. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do with this little piece down here. I'm hoping just to maybe flatten that out, but we'll see for sure. But that's what it looks like full. It's a full 24 inches, probably a little less now because I cut a good strip out of it. So we're looking at about 24 inches. So we'll go ahead and start on the doors and then figure out that bottom piece. If we look at my thought process here, I didn't have a full piece of plate, so I went and grabbed these little pieces of strap. I got 3 of them, so I'll cut the ends off. I'll kind of make them look a little better than that. But put these up here. It's going to be our top or bottom. We may do that as the bottom and then fill refractory or blanket or whatever we need to do there. Anyways, so we'll do that, and then we're going to take these pieces at angle. If I did my maths correctly, there should be just a hair bit of gap to allow for some expansion there. Maybe. If my piece wasn't warped. Let's look here. Yeah, so there should be, well, not quite. We may have to shim that just a hair bit, but we'll put these in here. That way you can slide them in and out of the way. And you can put in new doors without worrying about the metal warping. And with all this welded up, solid, it should be fine. Like I said, I'm gonna have refractory along these seams I'm still thinking about whether or not I'm gonna weld these up. But for right now, I'm just gonna weld the outsides and maybe use one of these offcuts to put a little bracing in here along this bottom side here. Right up in here, put it along the bottom side. Same thing here, just keep from warping too bad, but that's my general idea. And then you put the fire bricks in. You can have 3 of them in here, you can have 2 or probably 3 unless I put a little piece right here, which I'd really rather not. I'd rather leave that open, but I may end up putting a little piece of strip right in there. Put a little piece of strip right here, make your door smaller so you can slide it open and close. But this is the general idea. We'll see how this goes. So we've gotten this far. Got the first plate on, second plate on. Have to finish the top plate, flip it over, do the same thing to the bottom. But I just want to comment on the fact that I know these welds aren't awesome, but for the cheapest welder I could find at Tractor Supply, I don't feel like that's too bad. I mean, I think it's all about the welder, not the machine itself. You know, I mean, do what you can with what you got, and so it's looking good. So my thought process here is, got one more on this side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mock this up so I can cut out this sliver here. Same thing on this side, this sliver here. That way it'll be covered up. Refractory is going to be about that thick, or the thickness of the wall each side. And then from bottom to wherever, probably about where the angle iron starts on this, I'm going to go ahead and fill with refractory, but this whole area will be open. And this is going to be a ribbon burner forge, so depending on what he uses for a blower, it's going to need a little bit of pressure release through the doors because there's not going to be any anywhere else. So there's going to be a small gap in the middle, but that's going to give him the ability to run something like a smaller fan and not have back pressure. So that's kind of my thought process there. But we're going to go ahead and get this one cut out, get these sliver pieces cut off of our end cuts, and then we should be good to go ahead and flip it over and fix our bent piece down here and repeat the same process on the other side. This is what we have so far. So the opening is about 11 inches. I think it's about 10.5. Long ways, about 6.5 this way. So more than enough room to get some big stuff in there. But we're welded up here. I didn't really show much building it because I didn't really know how this is going to work. But now that I see that it's going to work, and I'm not going to have to redo it 17 times. On the other side, I'll get a time-lapse video of that. First, I'm going to flatten this out here, which should only take a few seconds. A big Bertha over there. Get this flattened out and get everything made up like this on the other side, and get my 2 pieces of angle on there so he can slide his bricks in and out. And then we can start the process of getting it all filled in and get the bottom packed with refractory and lined, get the sides lined and the top. Overall, I think this is going to be a pretty solid forge. And I got to get that ribbon burner cut out in there, but that will be after getting all of the sides lined. That way we can just cut one hole, knock it out, patch up the edge with some paste, some refractory paste, and that should be it. So I'll get a time lapse going of the other side, and we should be good to finish that up. So actually, instead of trying to bend a piece of 1/4 inch, I just took a piece of this strap that I had, because it only took like one piece and a part of that one to do the whole front side here. So I just took an extra piece of that, cut it out. It didn't fit perfectly, but I bent the edges in, and we'll kind of clean that up with a grinder later, and you won't ever see this because it'll be covered up. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna start from top to bottom, get that all welded in, get the channels in, legs on, which is probably just gonna be more of this strap or anything else I can find for that matter, to make some nice legs. And then we should be good to go ahead and start lining it. So here we go. So overall tonight, what we got done, got both face plates on. We've got our plates angle iron for the doors, and that's kind of my thought process there. The doors, there's still a little bit of clearancing issue there, but you can put 3 bricks in if you want to close one side off, or if you want to just close one side off, and then you've got, you can look in, you can close it kind of midway. That's the only thing that may need one bigger brick on one side or the other, or 2 bigger ones just to kind of cover up, but I don't feel like that gap's going to be enough to cause any trouble. And then as far as anything else, we got both of those on that side. Need to pick up some more bricks. So as far as today, everything's done that we're going to get done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up there today. Not as much as I'd like to get done. There's a few other things that need to be done. Gotta go ahead and put legs on it, either side. Probably not anything tall. It's gonna be on a table, so just something short and stubby, hold it up. And then over here, we're gonna do nearly a full length, or 2 dual ribbon burners. So cut a strip here, leave a bit of a gap, and then cut a strip here, and then put those in. But I'm not too sure exactly how I want to do that yet, but I want to thank y'all for watching. Join in for the next video. Leave a like, comment, any critiques that you have, let me know, and I'll see y'all in the next video.